My name is Jonathan Rogers. I am an independent filmmaker from St. Paul, Minnesota. Yep, St. Paul Pride. Yep. But yeah, this film that you're about to see is it's the culmination of my entire life's love of Indiana Jones and The Mummy and other pulp adventure movies. It's something that has taken a lot of hard work and passion from all of us, and this is the first time anyone is seeing this publicly. So needless to say, I am nervous, but thank you for being here. Your support means a lot, and I'd like to introduce my wonderful cast.
Hey, what? Oh. Screw that. Oh, the bug's pushed. Wait, I got it. I'll just yell. What am I doing? Hey, I'm Janelle.
Hi, Janelle.
I'm Janelle. I'm also Barbie. Oh, nice.
Hi, Barbie.
Hi, Barbie. I'm also Barbie, and I got 5 minutes for stand-ups. Thank you guys for being here. This is gonna be awesome. First of all, this is my first time saying this too, so we'll see if I suck. I have no idea. So my reactions will be real because I have seen nothing but the trailer that we put out, a while ago. So I'm with y'all on this one. I'm very excited, and thank you for being here. This is crazy. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Come home. Hi, I'll stand up too. That's a good way to do it. I'm Star-Lord.
Hi, Star-Lord.
Star-Lord, man, yeah, thank you so much for coming out. This means the world to John. He's worked very hard on this. I worked closely with him throughout it, and he's stressed out about it, so I'm happy to be here for him. My real name is Jared Crooks. I've been acting for a long time. I came into this a little bit later with him, and he needed a bad guy, and I was like, I know somebody. But yeah, I'm excited to share this with you.
Yay!
Hi everyone, my name is Troy LaFay, and I play Brimley. I'm also a filmmaker, and so it's been really cool being able to watch a younger filmmaker kind of come and go through the ranks and pay his dues. And he's officially graduated as a filmmaker as a result of this project. So.
Wait, I didn't finish. They did a better job than me. I'm Janelle. Did I say my name?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm also an actor, and that's what else did you guys? Okay, we're good. I want to be more professional.
And you succeeded.
Yeah, that was so professional.
So I want to really quickly just give a quick bit of background on this movie before I start it. I haven't really been doing filmmaking for very long. This is my first completely original project that I have written and directed. Before this, I've done just like tiny fan films over the years, but this is the first completely original one, and it's my first time hosting a panel too, so thank you for being patient with me being mumbly here. But let me see, just checking my notes, sorry. Yeah, so this is something that I've had this idea in the works for a number of years, but it wasn't until I met Janelle that it actually started to become real, because she had the talent and the charisma to pull off a character like Cleopatra Pryce.
That's Janelle. That's Janelle.
Yeah, in case you missed it.
Stop.
Yeah.
It's true.
And so, yeah, I'm extremely grateful to her for being my heroine in this movie. So thank you, Janelle.
The drug.
I think you did a phenomenal job in this. I'm very proud of you. And Jared, thank you for being part of this as well, especially so last second. You've exceeded my expectations with every part of this. You're a wonderful friend and a great collaborator. Thank you. And Troy, I love you, man. You've been such a help to me. You've been such a real mentor, and so I'm very grateful for you being part of this too. I would have had to have completely rewritten the script if I couldn't get you as Brimley. So thank you. All right, everybody. We're about to start this.
Real quick, if you're looking for, there are spots in the front. If you were looking for somewhere to sit, there's spots up
Aaron,
here.
I'm ready to dim the lights.
If anybody's just looking for places to sit.
Yep.
Oh, and real quick, thank you. I mean, what a turnout too. So really, thank you for being here. Fantastic.
Everybody find a seat if you can. Otherwise, sit on the floor. I might, because I can't see from this angle.
Yeah, thank you to everyone who I know, who I don't know, just everyone that's shown up here. You're extremely valued today. All right.
Wait, I can't see it. Yeah. No, but I don't have my glasses on. I can't see it. I gotta like I'm literally gonna like sit right here. Like I forgot to clear my room. Don't judge me.
All right, folks. There's also some text at the beginning of this that I don't know if some people in the back will have difficulty reading it, so I will actually read it off the screen for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
Are there all takes?
I'm gonna bring the lights down more, John.
Okay.
Yeah. Real movie theater stuff. Here.
Yeah.
We come to this place for magic.
Yeah!
To love, to
You should have used that accent for the movie.
It's almost like I'm going to use that in a show I'm doing. What? Never mind.
All right, here we go.
You did it!
I did it, Dr. Jones. So yeah, that's the Mirror of Amun-Ra. Yeah. I'd like to open up the floor for any questions that people might have.
Do you have bloopers?
We sure do.
Me and Jared together make a whole entire movie of bloopers.
They really made sure that the shooting was very lighthearted when we were dealing with a lot of other stressful stuff. So thank you guys for making it fun. How about you?
Well, first, Jared, you were deliciously evil. Where did the idea? I mean, I realize what it was inspired by, but what was really when you came up with the story in particular?
Well, given that I don't have an entire studio budget behind me, I kind of had to figure out a concept that would be filmable on a very low budget, and the idea of just making like a one-act play set in a forest with just 2 or 3 characters having like a very character-driven confrontation was kind of always in the plan. The idea of making it an Egyptian mirror was because I wanted to acknowledge my love of ancient Egypt and the fact that the mummy is one of the bigger inspirations for this as well. The idea of Cleopatra Pryce as the hero was something where I've had that idea rattling in my brain for many years because I thought it would be interesting as a contrast to Indiana Jones to make someone who's a lot younger and inexperienced and has to, of course, deal with the prejudices of her time. And this is really a story about her learning what actually matters in life, which is people and not objects or glory. And so that's kind of her arc in the movie, and that was always something I wanted to do as my introduction to the character. So that's the gist of it.
You want me to walk around with the mic so people can hear the questions?
Yes.
Oh, sure,
I
that
will
would be
do
great.
it! I volunteer as tribute!
Thank you very much.
This is the mic that I use.
Do it!
Ugh.
Tell me where to go.
Looks like, oh yeah, right here.
I just wanted to make a quick
Hold
comment.
on a second.
I thought it was cute the way that you can tell the good guy has a leather jacket and 1 day of stubble, and the bad guy has a leather jacket and 3 days of stubble.
This was a time where people just let themselves go. Who else?
I'm not moderating, I'm just passing the mic around.
Yeah, I'm just trying to. There in with the yellow card.
Yellow card.
Yep.
Jared, you were so good. Wow, I want to know how you held, like, I would have been giggling, a lot. Like, how were you able to stay, I believed you, like, as in, I don't know if you're a professional actor, but I believe you truly were a villain, and you had destruction in your mind. You were so cocky, and it was just really cool. How did you maintain that?
He actually is evil.
Yeah, I mean, I've been acting for a while. This is actually the first time, really, that I played a bad guy. And I just embraced it. I think that's really what it was. I just committed and I embraced it. And when I wanted to be, like, subtle about it, I was, like, real subtle about it. And then when I wanted to be, like, over the top and show, I chose those moments really where I'm just going to, this moment has to be, like, a pop moment. So, and I think that's what kind of, like, makes those moments seem more bigger and more intense, because it's like, is this guy gonna, what's he gonna do? You just don't know. So.
I was holding my breath.
He was scary, like a little bit. We go from laughing and I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, we've been joking around, like, you're gonna die now.
One of those bloopers is actually going to be where during the gunfight showdown, he looks dead in the camera and is just like, I want a Snickers now. That's how evil he is. He's a Snickers guy, not a Reese's guy. Anyone else?
Hold on, please.
Everyone was absolutely brilliant. I'm just curious, where did you film this?
Taneguchi.
Yeah, we actually drove all the way up north to Taneguchi National Park, I believe it's called. Yeah, and we actually went to the biggest waterfall in the state to film that opening few bits. And that was a lot of work. We had to walk a long ways to get up there.
Oh my God. Muddy as hell, the whole walk.
And it was important for me to get that shot in there because I wanted something that was more visually interesting than just trees. So it was about production values. So
The rest was filmed. The rest was filmed actually near where I grew up as a kid. The weird thing is, I started making.
Testing 1, 2. There, I'll talk right here. Was filmed my next door neighbor while I was growing up. I started making films when I was 15, and weirdly enough, the field that I shot my very first film in was right next to where we were filming. So it was kind of a weird coming home for me. So that's in Wisconsin, not far from here.
And that final shot of the sunset was literally just the hill behind my apartment building. It was the easiest acting in the movie for Janelle. Just walk over a hill, please.
No, that hill was steep though. We did it many times. Just kidding. I'm not gonna complain about everything. It was easy.
Any other questions?
Will there be a
You
sequel?
need to speak into the mic, please.
Will there be a sequel?
I have ideas for middle grade chapter books. I was kind of hoping this would be a proof of concept for the Cleopatra Pryce character, and maybe I could create some sort of like a mini series out of her, and maybe introduce a new generation to the adventure genre, the way that Indiana Jones inspired me to get into all that stuff. So that's really the end goal.
And right there.
Yeah. How long ago did you start this? I have an idea, but I'm asking for the room. And the other one is like, what advice would you have for somebody who wants to get started doing this?
So this project didn't really start properly going into production until about like 2020, 2021, because I was trying to figure out something to creatively do after how traumatized I was by the pandemic and everything, and I wanted to keep myself busy and actually make something for once. And so that was when this really kind of started to cook. What I would say to someone who's just starting out is you are going to have a lot of doubt. You are going to beat yourself up a lot over every single step of the process, and what you need to do is surround yourself with people who are going to be supportive of you and recognize that you have skill and passion and are I don't know, like just find people that are willing to kind of anchor you when you have those bad days. That's going to be really important for anyone that's just starting a career in this, because it is very daunting, and you always underestimate how much work it's going to actually be.
Can I put a plug in for the role that CONvergence actually played?
Yeah.
So I can't remember, 2015, John and I met because I also cosplay Indiana Jones occasionally, and I caught his hat from the other end of a hallway.
It was a full-blown Spider-Man meme moment.
And so we became friends then. I was a coordinator on a feature film that shot in Illinois, and I hired John as an intern. Jared was hired as a stunt guy on that same film, and he and John started talking because Jared also cosplays Indiana Jones. So thank you, Indiana Jones and CONvergence, because the synergy might not have happened.
That's true. Me and John also met here at CONvergence.
Well, there you go.
Do you cosplay Indiana Jones?
I cosplay Cleopatra Pryce.
The one and only Cleopatra.
That's right.
Good answer.
But I'm blonde now, so she got some hair done.
The funny thing is that I originally was going to have Cleo be blonde.
That's true.
And then I decided to make her a brunette because I didn't want to force Janelle to dye her hair. And then look what happened.
You know, this happened, Barbie. Barbie did that to me. Oh, got Brian, keep in track.
There we go, yep. Any other questions in the back, perhaps? How about next to Mary Poppins right there?
Next to Mary Poppins.
What was your hardest shoot that you had to do?
The hardest shoot thing we had to do? The fight scene was definitely very difficult because Jared knows his craft. He is a stunt coordinator, and he knew what would work, what wouldn't work, and he knew what would look good. And that was something that I had no experience in, so he was extremely helpful in shepherding us on those days, and it took many, many takes and a lot of pratfalls from Janelle. I'm sorry that your butt took so much abuse.
Listen, it wasn't that, it was my arms, because Jared's grip was insane. I was like punching, he'd grab it, I'm like, many takes later, my arm is like, I'm fire! But it looked,
I commit.
I know, it looked awesome. It looked awesome though, and I was like worth it, and I trusted him, but I was in pain.
Yeah,
The fight scene was awesome!
I know, my friends made a gif of me getting punched in the face. I see all the time. I need that gif.
You never told me about this.
Yeah, no. My sister literally sent it to me today, going, "Have fun in your movie," and it's just Jared punching me.
I'm gonna make many gifs of this. Any other questions for the back there? Orange card, please.
For the ancient Egyptian, I'm just curious, were you actually using, was that actually accurate translations, or what did you do for that?
That is correct. That is something I fought very hard for, was to get authenticity with the Egyptian voices. So I actually got a real Egyptologist to translate the lines from English into what they would be. And I was able to also find many people of actual Egyptian descent to do those voices, as many as I could. So I took representation and authenticity very seriously with this, and I'm very proud of how it turned out.
Thanks for coming, y'all.
I'm coming.
Oh, we got plenty of time. We got 20 minutes.
Yeah,
plenty of time.
I just have a comment. I had seen M. Night Shyamalan basically back in circa 1990 had his very first film, and the audience response that you got tonight rivals that.
That's very,
People are nice though too.
that's very kind of you, thank you.
I'm
And
very neat.
I actually like M. Night Shyamalan's work too, so that is actually very, that means a lot, so.
Yeah, his Avatar movie was amazing.
Any other questions in the back there? How about the red card on the right-hand side?
I had two moments of suspense during the movie, and one was when he started looking at the mirror, and the old cliche from Raiders of the Lost Ark, I thought, oh, his face is going to start to melt. Another thing for me, and I'm sure we can all agree, one of the most famous scenes is Raiders of the Lost Ark. After Indy has gone through this chase using his lasso to escape the Nazis and so forth, and he comes across that sword-fighting person, and he just goes, oh, pulls out his gun and shoots him. Did you think during that scene, when the hero was at odds against this person, and then the villain, offered the jewel, and they were standing there, I had that suspense. I was thinking, is Cleopatra going to take his gun out with the whip? Thinking that.
I had a lot of stuff in those bags.
So I thought that was going to be maybe a reverse twist on when Indy took out the sword-fighting individual. So I was just kind of wondering if you thought maybe about that.
No, that was never a thought, mainly because I think that would be one step too far into ripping off.
Doing the cliche, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But that whole duel scene is functionally there for the story because I needed to have some kind of final confrontation between the two of them, but in a way that was manageable on our budget and our resources, and we weren't going to be able to do like a fight scene to the extent that I would have imagined, and so I decided a gun duel just makes more sense for just the type of story we're doing, and it's more of a like a mental showdown, if anything. Like gun duels are all about luck of the draw, and if you can get in that split second in time. And so one thing that I hope came across with this is that Jared's character is extremely overconfident. He is very skilled, but he is like many horrible people in that he's very full of himself and thinks that he is untouchable, and that ends up being his downfall, which is actually
That's Jared, not
which is actually an Indiana Jones trope. The villains are always undone by their own hubris, so I wanted to honor that as well. Anybody else? Yellow card in the front
really
there.
just want me to get my steps in.
Thank you so much.
Hello. I really thought the sound effects were great, like the leather tightening on like the gun. Did you do Foley work for that? Have somebody do Foley work?
I did recreated all the sounds. So he was trying to find a sound guy, and I said, well, I can do the sound. He's like, well, you have to redo everything. I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, yeah, I don't know, the sound we didn't get it. And I'm like, what? What do you mean? He's like, so every footstep you hear, every cloth movement, I was like, I had to go on, close.
It brought in an intensity to those moments.
So I enjoyed making those leather sounds.
My friend has a question here. Can I pass the mic to her?
Of course.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the film, and I just had, for future projects and like potentially future books, is there a place that we can go to find your work on that? Yeah.
I do have papers up here with QR codes for all the social media for this project, where you can keep in touch with me and see all the updates on that, yeah. One quick note about the sound design is that, again, thank you, Jared, for putting so much work into it and doing such a great job with it. And that's another thing that I should also recommend to people starting out is get good sound on the set. That is a mistake that I made. All right, another one in the back. How about the red card there?
Dude, that was totally awesome. Congratulations. Was there anything major that you wanted in there but you had to cut it out? And was giant bugs ever in the plan?
If I could get away with more like production values and stuff, I would have tried to maybe put in more of a creepy crawly. But you will notice at the very start of the movie, we do have a spider crawl over that skull, and that was completely coincidental. We did not plan that. That spider is my favorite actor in the movie. But yes, what was the first half of your question again? I apologize.
like anything major that you wanted to include that didn't quite make it in, like any kind of part of the scene or something like that, you're just like, we can't do it.
Yeah, there were definitely parts that I did have to trim it down because the initial cut was going to be more like 25 minutes or so, and we had a screening with me, Jared, and Troy to go over it, and they were adamant that the opening especially needed to be trimmed down because we just need to get to the meat of the story as soon as possible. So they were completely correct about that. I think it's much better paced now. It was originally going to have much more of her just walking in the woods. And no amount of amazing music that we had was going to mask that.
The Lord of the Rings with Janelle.
Yeah. So much walking, lots of walking.
And I do want to give a special shout out to Brian Arata, the composer of my movie, because he really came through for me and made something that exceeded my expectations. Any other questions? Orange in the front here.
From front to back, from front to back. There's people in the middle, you know.
You are working so hard. I tried.
Thank you again so much.
Okay, two things. First of all, as a indie filmmaker myself, I completely understand how difficult it can be to realize a vision, and I am so glad that you chose to stay true to your vision. So this was an amazing project here. And second of all, question for Jared. What did the blood taste like?
It's kind of numbing. It's like it kind of numbs you a little bit. Have you tried it?
Yeah, I had it in my nose, remember?
Oh yeah. It doesn't. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't taste like anything. It just numbs you. I feel like.
I snorted it.
That is essentially true. She did have to just lean back and just like. Well, thank you very much for your support. I'm still very new to this. I recognize that, and I'm just grateful for anyone that has been able to kind of shepherd me along the way, like Jared and Troy here. And I just hope that someone can watch this and maybe come away feeling like, okay, I actually would like to put that project that's been on the back burner into production finally. That would make me happiest of all. So thank you very much for saying that. Green card right there.
Card right there. Right there. Look, you get a middle person. A middle person.
I was late and missed literally every single second of the movie. No, never mind. I hear a lot about what you like to take away from Indiana Jones and the inspiration you got. Is there anything you don't want to carry forward? Is there anything from adventure movies that you've seen? It's just like, well, maybe this isn't cool these days. Maybe we don't rob from gravesites.
I am glad that you asked that, because I actually did think very hard about this, because I do love these movies, I grew up with them, but I am aware that there are some things that just don't age well, and I wanted this to really kind of be an example of, it's not impossible for this genre to still continue as long as you're just more mindful about what you put in it, and I tried very hard to make something that would be authentic and true to character above all else. The setting and the genre and all that stuff, those are just like the trappings on, for me, what is, I mean, it's really a character-centric story, and I feel like that's what people connect to at the end of the day, and I hope that, I don't know, this is a genre that I want to see continue. I love Indiana Jones, I love The Mummy, I love all those things. I don't want it to die out, but it will need some rejiggering if it is going to continue. So I very much respect your question. Thank you for asking it. Anybody else? Yellow, right there.
I also met you at CONvergence. You were in Indiana Jones. I was Casey Jones, so we had the Jones Fest. But
the Jones boys.
Getting knowing you for a few years now and not knowing this side of you, I had no idea what to expect, and I was very impressed. They talked about the audio, but the visual effects, like it didn't pull me away from the movie. It kept me in there. But what was the process for the visual effects in there?
Yeah, visual effects took a long time to do. It was very, very specific, minute stuff. And I worked with a man named Shane Madsen from Wonder Productions. He is tremendous. I am so grateful for everything he did for this, because he had to put in a lot of hours, because there were so many little things that we didn't realize were going to be problems when we were developing the effects, where we had to do a lot of like backtracking and rethinking how it was going to look. And that all took longer than both of us anticipated. So he was a massive trooper about it, and every step of the way he was always hyping me up with the project and being like, this is going to turn out amazing, I'm super proud of you, we're going to kick some ass here, even on days where I was like, I don't know if this effect is actually going to work. Is this going to look really cheesy? Are people just going to laugh at it? But he was always like, no, man, you got this. And he's someone that I wish was here today. He wanted to be here, but he had other events to go to, and I hope that in future I can continue working with him, because he did a really great job on this. And special effects is one of those things where I always knew going into it that I wasn't going to have Disney money to do really, really elaborate stuff. So I specifically wrote a script where it was within manageable means what kind of like magical hoo-ha was going to show up in this. So I'm glad it turned out well.
You know, and I do want to say that's some great advice as far as like if you're going to start doing film and stuff, really keep that in mind. Don't write a script that you can't make. I think a lot of people make that mistake. They're just like, look at this, look at these war scenes and this, that, and it's like, and then there's spaceships. It's like, hey, can you do that? We'll make it. You know, you're not going to be able to do it. So like, write a script that's doable and within, like, use the resources that you have and keep that in mind.
Yeah, I completely agree, and that was also the thinking behind just set it in a forest and just have like 1 or 2 or 3 characters interacting. Just make it manageable. And even that was extremely difficult to make happen. So just try to imagine how wildly stressful and crazy it gets for people that make these multi-million-dollar movies with all those moving parts. So this has really kind of been a lesson in teaching me empathy for people that make bigger movies and realizing that they're all trying their best. They're trying to make something that connects with people and that speaks from their heart. And yeah, like movies is something that I wanted to do ever since I was a kid, watching movies like Indiana Jones or Jurassic Park or Terminator. There's a whole list of movies that have inspired me. And this movie, it has little references and things to things other than Indiana Jones or The Mummy, which people that know me will probably pick out.
Did anybody see the dinosaur? No?
What? It's the Spielbergian-ness of it all, man.
Where's the king
I think there was some Vader in there with the.
Yeah.
I remember real tight grip. There was not holding back.
I mean, a couple examples, I guess, is just like there was definitely some design inspiration with the mirror from the mirror that Gaston has at the end of Beauty and the Beast, where he puts it in his belt, and the red ruby is also kind of a shout out to The Secret of Nim, the medallion in that has the glowing red thing. Those are movies that I also loved. And so yeah, like there's so many little things that went into this project, and I mean, all art is a reflection of the people that make it, and this came straight from my, the marrow of my heart, so that's a bad metaphor. Any other questions? Blue circle there.
How long did it take to film?
Took over a year, really, because we were filming it off and on in different conditions, just whenever we could find the availability for the cast and the crew, and on pretty much every single day it rained.
Yeah.
And that was one of the most frustrating things, for sure. Like, the weather did not cooperate.
How many actual shooting days did we have?
I think it was about like 5. Like there was one day where we just went up to the North Shore area to do the waterfall, and then there was 2 more days for the main bulk of the shoot. Then there was a pickup day, and then there was, I think, just the final shot with you. I think so.
I thought it was like 10 days.
It sure feels longer because you had to do all the hard work.
Oh, it was 5 days, yeah.
I got a human back here with no paper.
I use my phone flashlight.
Sure.
I want to give the best compliment I can to our amazing protagonist and antagonist. Janelle, I really wanted you to kick him in the balls at some point in that fight scene.
You wanted me to kick someone in the balls?
Specifically, one person.
Here, stand up.
I appreciate the method acting, that was lovely. Shout out to the cinematography, I thought that was great. I really enjoyed the cinematography. As someone that also does artistic endeavors, I would love if you could speak. One thing that happens to me often, I don't know, Jonathan, if it happens to you, perfection as the enemy of progress is something that happens to me so much when I try to make something. And did that happen to be a narrative that played out for you at all during this process?
Constantly. I was my own worst critic every single day, and I watched this movie pretty much like 3 times a day for over 2 years almost. And it was just something where I would overthink every single frame, every single sound effect, and Jared and Troy and Janelle, they all kept cheerleading me through the process, and it's something that like I said earlier, I think any person that's new to this is just gonna initially kind of realize, oh, this is a lot more complicated than I thought. Do I actually have what it takes? And if you surround yourself with people like them who care about you and respect you and think that you have what it takes to go the distance, as Rocky or Hercules would say.
One of the things, just with the sound, when we just talked about this recently, so like I said, I had to recreate all the sound, and he was so used to the way that it sounded from the original audio, you know, and he's just like, but now recreate it so it's crisper and everything's clear. And when he first heard it, he's like, this doesn't, it's just like, it's weird to me, because, and I was like, nobody's gonna know, because nobody's heard the other audio, only you know, and you have to get over that, and believe me, it sounds better.
Yeah, he's absolutely right. It took me like a day or two of just listening to it over and over to reprogram my brain and just get used to how the new sounds were, and then I was like, oh, never mind, Jared. We are at about 5 minutes left. If there's any more questions here, might be able to sneak a few in.
I want to add on to the thing. And since I'm the one that's next, you can go over. I don't care. Okay. Okay. So the perfectionist thing, when I was starting out, I did the same thing. You get really, really hyper focused. Part of it is perfectionism. The other part is just, it is such an arduous task to carry your vision with all of the chaos that is going on, and then trying to keep that vision moving forward. You do get kind of tunnel vision sometimes, which sometimes is great because then you know that the vision is going to get through, but sometimes it becomes counterproductive and it can actually hold you back. And it's really important. I cannot stress this. I see this happen a lot with creators, filmmakers in particular. It's really hard to make a film in a vacuum. You have to have a team surrounding you, and you have to be able to trust that team to sort of guide you when you've been looking at the same thing for too long. Because you do lose perspective, and having that, a team of people that you can get feedback from is so important. I can't tell you the number of times I see beginning filmmakers that don't want to show anyone anything until it's done. That's a really, really bad idea. You have to, you're not making it for yourself, you're making it for an audience. You need to know if the audience is seeing the film the way that you want them to. And the only way to do that is to show that outside of your own brain. And that's part of how you can sort of save yourself from that perfectionism element. So it's really important. The other thing is, things are going to go wrong. It is an exercise in organized chaos. That is the nature of the business. I can't tell you how many times I had to repeat that to John. It's like, no, you're not doing anything right. This is just how shitty this process is.
I really did have many nights where me and Troy would be up like past like midnight, and I would just be essentially like hysterical on Messenger, just talking about how I just didn't know if anything was going to work, and he would just talk me through it. He was my anchor through so much of this. So thank you, Troy. You've been a real bro, as they say.
So real quick, by the time I got on board with this, I had just finished making a Christmas film, a feature-length Christmas film, and that filming in the cold and all those things, I was like, oh, that was rough. And he comes in, it's like, you know, like a couple's like, it's hot or this kind of thing. I was like, you don't even know hard, man. You don't even know what hard is yet.
Yeah, I mean, I highly recommend you guys look up Jared Crook's stuff as well, because he is an incredible filmmaker, and he has brought his professionalism to the project, and if not for him being part of it, it definitely wouldn't be anywhere near as polished as it looks now. That reminds me of the cinematography question. Yes, so that was a collaboration with me and my director of photography, Marcus Bugney. He helped me figure out how DaVinci Resolve works. That's the program that I edited this in, and so he was able to bring his understanding of like color nodes and all those technical things that I don't understand, and he really kind of is the one that pushed it to look this good while keeping in my vision of giving it this very warm kind of golden red hued, like old school, like comic book kind of look. So that really, the credit for that goes to Marcus. One more right here.
What is the pamphlet you have, and can I have one?
Yes.
So, we have merch. So what I have up here is 20 copies of a small short story prequel to the movie that I wrote myself.
We only thought 20 people were showing up. That's why I only got 20.
We really
So you need to wrestle for them.
That being said, if anybody wants a copy that we run out of them, like, I'm happy to figure that out for you, no problem. But yeah, it's just a short story that I wrote. It's like a little prequel to the movie. It's just an extra gift for everyone that showed up here today. And it's something that I hashed out like a year ago as actually the first chapter of the book I was thinking of at the time. And then I decided to rejigger it as just a short story for this. So, and we also have
I'll get it.
posters.
And
We also have posters here for everybody.
We have 5 posters. No, I don't know.
Yeah, so if anybody wants something that we run out of them, just talk to me. I will happily get that figured out for you. I do have QR codes on those pages up at the front too for you to be able to follow the social medias, and you can keep in touch with me that way. Oh yeah, Janelle would like to say something.
I have something to say. We're about to be done. I appreciate it. I really do want to say a big shout out to John. Like, these 3 did a lot. I just acted in it, and like that was it. So.
And she complained the whole time.
I did. I was like, man, but I.
Waterfalls?
No, but genuinely, like I have no. Like, I'm just an actor, straight up. The other stuff I'm not great at yet. But these guys were incredible. And John, this was such a big project, as we all know. And this was. I want to thank him because this was the first project that I've ever done, a film that was longer than like a short, that was like 5 minutes. So this is like my first big kind of acting like gig that I've done for film. And so I'm very, very grateful. Because now I can have this, a really quality, good looking thing that I'm proud of, that I can, promote and try to hopefully keep going with more film work.